Welcome to the IMES Tech Talk for AMIA 2020. I'm Greg Maratea, Director of Global Solutions.
I'm Hillary Howell, the Director of Premium Archival Services.
And I'm Bethany Boarts. I'm the Digital Imaging SME.
And this year for the Tech Talk, we wanted to have you consider your asset and also physical versus digital in the archiving space. So is our belief that it's not just that you have an asset, it's really your interaction with that asset. So thinking of preservation not as a singular focus, not as a silo, but rather as the center or the key to activation or implementation. And we also want to extend this conversation past what we commonly would focus on, film and video assets or your digital assets, and more to physical items, your treasures such as props, wardrobe, posters, even standees. What we're seeing is, for the digital assets, that cloud storage and compute continue to grow in importance and integration as they are part of workflow and archiving strategy. And we also see artificial intelligence as a compelling reason to integrate or incorporate cloud storage and compute in your strategy. However, we're also seeing LTO9 coming, and its promise of higher density and speed can offer the security blanket of an on-premise or physically tangible archive asset. And that notion of a physical asset like an LTO still has legs, still has importance in the modern landscape. Physical assets, such as your props or wardrobe, we know require the proper space, climate, environmental space, as well as cataloging and having access to your catalog via database. But we're seeing more and more incorporation of 2D reference images and 3D scanning, and they are now essential or can be incorporated into your standard workflow. So how do we see this coming together? First of all, metadata is still the key to how you use your assets. And we still see the role of a robust asset management layer. We have a system, our digital archive and repository as essential. Essentially, having the security of knowing that there's an on-premise system that maybe holds your finals in the digital world, and a cloud, tier for more of your data, a hybrid model we see going forward. And also that type of system being able to hold metadata about your physical assets as well as maybe the images or the 2D images around your physical assets.
Doing what you can to preserve and protect your assets by using all tools available to you is the best way to do everything you can to protect and monetize your assets, because your assets are your business, both what you monetize and what you retain for historical value. For this reason, accurate and thorough metadata are important for tracking your physical materials. With a proxy, either through photography, scan, video, or audio, it's easier to do this, and it allows you to keep your physical assets secure and protected by limiting access and exposure. Having proper descriptions of your assets also means anyone searching can find exactly what they need, saving time and resources. Especially right now during the pandemic, moving online is the only way to present content for certain cultural institutions, and streaming is the only viable option for future content as long as theaters are closed. So being able to provide a 3D scan of a sculpture or a prop, or having a FADGI compliant scan of a letter or photo so you can see every detail, are ways to engage with your audience and give them a way to still experience your offerings while stuck at home. Being able to create a video file for streaming allows for distribution when theatrical is impossible. No one knows exactly what the lockdowns will end or when people will feel safe to be in public spaces, so doing what you can to still generate interest in your materials is important. So we have very exciting ways to update how you scan your materials, including 2D and 3D imaging.
So what we're talking about now is our old technology versus our new technology, and the implementation of technology and innovation in our space to create those proxies for you, be scanning or 3D imaging, or now moving to a more FADGI compliant system. So we've invested in purchasing a FADGI compliant system and partnered with DT Cultural Heritage We actually had the implementation and what you're seeing now, the build out in our space a couple weeks ago, in a couple of our spaces actually, but this is the one currently you see behind me. So, and you can see that it has a lot of moving parts. It's very detailed. We're actually using a 150 megapixel camera to capture these images along to fall into the FADGI guidelines. So I'll kind of let Spencer finish up setting up here. But as you can see, we've got photon lights on either side so we can evenly light the image. So we don't want to see that again. So what can our camera system do for you? So we can hit FADGI guidelines, speed up our workflow, which you'll see in a minute, and then also lower our pricing options for our clients in the future. So those are all important things for us. So what it means to be FADGI compliant for us is investing in that hardware and software that you saw earlier, investing in the proper tools to meet the FADGI guidelines and FADGI standards, which you can see some of the stuff here. Upgrading our space, and then training. Training is going to be really important for us, as well as continuing education, taking classes, and in that vein. So here's just a quick example. Now, obviously, this is sped up a little bit, but this is going to be a much more valuable experience for our clients on the back end, and then you can just kind of see the technology at work here. We're just really excited to have this new equipment in our space.
And hey, Bethany, if you don't mind if I jump in, I think this is where we're seeing technology go, right? This is a much better scan and has a compliance with a spec, and it's actually can lower the cost for people and be faster. So, you know, keeping along the lines of like where this is all going, the tools are making this stuff, whether it's AI or this, more prevalent and actually like making it more cost effective to a certain extent.
Absolutely. So just a quick example of, you know, some comparison for what we were using in the past. Now, this does not say that what we've been doing in the past is any less, but with this new capture system, we can create a dynamic, you'll see on the right, obviously, the dynamic gray tone range and the grain details, and we pieced it out on the bottom there, the sharpness of the image, as well as on the left, you can see a little bit of color casting in that. Obviously, what we want to do is reproduce the image as we see it and create a digital surrogate. So what does our future look like? Greg and Hillary brought it up earlier, and we're moving towards 3D scanning, 3D capturing. So we are investing in a laser capture system. It's going to be very robust for us. Let me just show you a quick example of a really cool 3D scan. So we can create an interactive experience. Zooming in, like Hillary talked about earlier.
It provides you with the chance to interact with the material like you would in a physical space. It also provides you the opportunity to see every detail, including blemishes, which you won't necessarily get in a photograph, which can also be important for proving provenance.
I just want that camera, not even just the 3D scan of it.
Yes, it is very cool.
Same.
So we've done our tech talk, and we'd like to thank you for your time. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact us. We have a virtual booth, and we look forward to participating in this year's AMIA convention. Thank you.
Thank you.